Our coverage of CES 2026 from Las Vegas, Nevada is brought to you by MSI, Thermaltake, Gigabyte, and Asus. Hey guys, I'm over at Hyte, also iBuyPower, and there's some cool stuff. Let's start with these over here. Starting with the Impossible case. The Z90 is called the Impossible case because Hyte is not actually going to produce it. Yes, that's true. They're showing off this case here that you will not be able to buy. I'm very sorry. If you like how this case looks, if you like these crazy lines that they have going on with this shroud that's over the top of the case, unfortunately, this isn't coming to market because it's really tough to mass produce something like this, tooling and everything. But the reason that they are showing this off, and they actually have a 15-minute documentary on the production of this case, is that it was sort of the brainchild that eventually led to the X50, which is right over here. I have done a build, or at least a system swap in the X50. It is now coming out in a new color. This is called Astral Orange. X50 is a very distinct case. I really love the rounded edges. I feel like Hyte did a great job. And again, we talked a little bit at Computex about the difficulty that they had with making this rounded front panel. But now that they've got it all sorted out, they're starting to expand and come out with a few different colors. Now we just need some more orange motherboards. Like Gigabyte had like an orange motherboard back in the day that was pretty cool. Who knows? Maybe this will kick off a new trend. Getting back to the Z90 though, they have a full video on the design and production process of it, so that's on their YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out. I'm in that video too with the pink X50 build that I did for my wife. The Z90 had 4 different prototypes, starting with this one here, which is like all kind of milled out of plastic. I'm sorry, not milled. This was a 3D printed outer shell that they started with. Then they made it bigger with this second prototype here, and I don't know, the zebra stripes thing is really speaking to me right now. But really the essence of the Z90 that became the X50 was the chassis itself, as they were developing the tooling needed to make these rounded edges, to make the sort of unique interior that they have here. You can see they were considering some extremely big fans. Those are redonkulous, 200 millimeter fans in a double housing right there with a 42 millimeter thickness. And I broke it. I'm sorry, Rob. I didn't know it wasn't attached. Here's Rob. How much do I owe you?
$10,000.
10 grand. Okay.
That's per blade.
Does it come with a Z90?
It'll come with one of these Z90s.
One of these here. Okay. I'll do a build in it. A special giveaway system or something. Okay.
Right.
I fixed it. Moving along to the 4th prototype right here. As you can see, here's where we have the rounded sort of front panel. So if you remove sort of these the stripes, extruded pieces, I don't know, ribs, I don't know what to call them. But if you remove that, then basically you end up with the X50 that's right over here, which I already showed you. But you might have spotted down here, Hyte is not making power supplies. So let me verify that. These are 3D printed like power supply shrouds that they also made to kind of go along with the show. But these are here to promote the fact that they're developing these aesthetic cable kits. So going with the same colorways that the X50 has, such as the pink, we have the Taro or Ube, depending on which side of the fence you are for that one. The green, the red, of course the new Astral Orange. These have a silicone wire inside, which means they're nice and soft and flexible, and even if you bend them pretty strongly, like they don't kink up at all, and if you just give them a little wiggle, like any bends like that come out of them. So if you want some nice smooth cable runs, that's definitely what you want to go with. These are still in development, but they are putting these color-matched combs on there as well, and these are also made of, I think, aluminum. They definitely seem to be a metal material of some sort. But those are the aesthetic cable kits, and I'm told that when these come to market, they're aiming for a price that's in the same range as like the Asia Horse cables that are on the market currently. So these are not going to be like absurdly overpriced either. Hyte is also very good at trolling, and that's what they've done over here. So this is their Y70 case. It's already been out for a while, and they came out with the LCD panel that goes on the side of it. They're poking the bear here by taking Corsair's LCD panel that they came out with, which is, you know, a nice piece of hardware for sure, but what Hyte said was they feel that they are ahead of Corsair in terms of the software that they have put together, the Hyte Nexus software that you can use to control RGB in your case. You can use it to do system monitoring. There's a whole lot of stuff that you can do with this software, which is pretty cool. Hyte used their software and made it compatible with this Corsair LCD display, and that was 100% trolling, and I approve. Good job, Hyte. Moving along here to some iBuyPower stuff. They're a system integrator, so typically iBuyPower makes complete systems that you would purchase, possibly from a retailer such as Amazon or Newegg. but they also develop a lot of their own products that go into their pre-built systems. So this is the Trace X, which is an evolution of their case where they've added some wood accents along the top and sides. And I did confirm that this is synthetic wood, not actual wood, which is a good thing for a computer case that has lots of temperature changes and stuff like that, especially when you're going with some smaller pieces like this that they have going all the way down the side, reflecting some RGB through it. Because real wood can bend and warp and stuff, especially when it gets hot and then cools down, as happens often with a computer that is used and then turned off, for example. So there is the Trace X. They also have the Element Pulse X over here, which is a bit more of the like RGB gamer aesthetic. I do kind of like these channels that they have going around the sides with the RGB lighting. They said this is currently just being controlled via motherboard connection and the Hyte software, the Nexus software. But again, just trying to soften things a little bit with the rounded corners here. This is actually the power button. I'm not going to push it right now because I don't want to turn the system off. So again, just giving you a look at some of these case variants that are going to be available soon from iBuyPower. That is the Element Pulse X. And then over here we have some cooling. The AW5 is a water cooler. We don't have a price on this, but they said they're going to try to keep the price very reasonable compared to, say, some of the AIOs from like a Tri-X and stuff like that have LCDs and are very blingy, but are also like, you know, $200-300 sometimes. This one has a pretty cool design for the pump block unit right here. And also, as you can see, an LCD display that's being powered by the Hyte Nexus software. Did I say there wasn't a price for this? There is. $99.99, $100 basically. Should be available in Q1 2026 from the iBuyPower Gear Store. Oh, and did I mention it's also available in whites. For air coolers, we have this. This is the AC5. Pretty clean looking single tower CPU cooler with airflow. Aluminum fins there. We got some RGB on the fans. We've got the iBuyPower logo on the top and a plate to keep everything looking nice. This one does not have a price listed because I believe this is going to be available with certain iBuyPower pre-built systems, but it also has a black finish over here too. And this should be available in iBuyPower pre-builts in Q1 2026. That AW5 cooler is currently on display in this, which is the white version of the Element Pulse X case. They dialed down the RGB a little bit, went with a single color here to keep things classy. I appreciate that. Here's a product that's in development from iBuyPower, so they're looking for a bit of feedback. I actually showed the earlier version of the Trace X in a previous video. Don't ask me which one, it was a year or two back. They're trying to bring custom water cooling, full loop liquid water cooling to the masses. So here they have the Trace XCL case, which has a distro plate up at the front. This is designed in such a way that it can be integrated into different systems with a bit of adjustments on the tubing here, so they can have pretty standardized 90-degree runs in order to assemble the full loop a little bit more easily in order to keep costs down. Again, the idea here is to bring water cooling to the masses, or to people who might not necessarily want to build a custom water-cooled system themselves, but are still interested in perhaps dipping their foot into the water cooling end of the market. You get what I'm saying? Or their toe. Anyway, I'm making jokes. They're also using a clear terminal here at the end of the GPU water block, so that looks pretty nice. iBuyPower said that what they're aiming for is that if this system was air-cooled and then you added the water cooling elements to it, it would be about a $200 price difference. That's like just as much as a higher-end AIO right now. So as far as the price premium goes, I think they might have a few interested parties. But again, let iBuyPower know in the comment section down below if this is something that you might be interested in. Let's finish off with some custom builds, and I want to set this up right. Oh wait, wait, I should set it. Oh no, okay, so can you tell I've seen Kpop Demon Hunters? Because I know, for example, that this is the cat from Kpop Demon Hunters, and that's the little bird right there. In here we've got a video playing, and I believe that's Rumi. Yes, I have a 6-year-old daughter, and that is why I am actually pretty familiar with Kpop Demon Hunters, at least the songs. But this was a custom build by Archetype Origins, Kpop Demon Hunters Derpy mod. It's got a tail in the back. It's got the little cat feet there too. It's running an Intel Core Ultra 7 265K and an Asus ROG Astral RTX 5090 white OC right there. They've even got a bit of textured fluid in there, as you can see, that's moving along. So just a really cool build here. I made a special video just for my daughter that I sent over to her because I know she's going to go crazy for this and want me to make one too. Next up we have a Counter-Strike build. This was made by Liquid House, and they know liquid cooling. Oh my gosh, look at those runs right there. I love the textured tubing that they have right there, and the straight sort of gold chromish finish that they have on those tubes right there. All that liquid cooling for the CPU, because we've got an air-cooled RTX 5090 in there. Just a gorgeous build by Liquid House that they've put together. Oh, and I didn't even show you like the cool parts. They integrated the Hyte LCD panel on the front of the X50 case, and they also added an additional LCD up here on the top of the PSU shroud that's showing you CPU, GPU temperature, and of course the time. Finally, we got a custom Hollow Knight Silksong build over here in the red X50. This was actually made for the Game Awards 2025, commissioned by AMD and Team Cherry, which is, I believe it's why it's got the red theme, also to go along with the Silksong theme. This one has a 9800X3D, and since it's an AMD commissioned build, it's also got an AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT. That is the XFX Mercury White Gaming Edition. Actually, I haven't seen this GPU before. It looks really cool. And you know, what I really appreciate, 8-pin PCI Express graphics power connectors, not 12v2x6. That makes this a much safer build. But that's all the time I have here at Hyte at CES 2026. I want to say a big thank you to my sponsors for this event, Asus, Gigabyte, Thermaltake, and MSI. If you'd like to check out all my CES coverage, there's a playlist linked in the video's description. We'll see you all in the next one.